Hello, and thanks for tuning in. You're listening to TJ Mars Radio Show on the Building Fortunes Radio and the Humongous Radio Network. Thanks again for listening in. TJ Mars Radio Show is featured on Building Fortunes Radio with co-host Peter Mingils. We are here broadcasting worldwide, online, to help make the world become a better place. TJ Mars Radio Show is all about legal insight, real conversations, and straight answers. You'll be able to hear TJ Mars Radio Show on the Humongous AM and Humongous FM radio network and on all major platforms such as Amazon's Music Podcasts and Audible, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and many of your other favorite podcasts. You can learn more about TJ Mars by visiting his website at urlaw.org. That's YOUARE law.org. Share this show with the people that are important to you, and let us help you make a difference in your world. Now on to the TJ Mars Radio Show. Take it away, Peter.
Hello, everyone. Peter Mingils here, talking to you, if you will, on the TJ Mars Radio Show on the Building Fortunes Radio Network. We are here for a quick update from TJ Mars himself. We have been trying to keep updating you on some of the things that he's been working on that will impact you as well as some of the things that are happening in the world, both in financing, law, and cryptocurrency. And we're here today where he is outside in Las Vegas, and it's summertime, so it's hot. And it's hot actually in almost every place of the United States at this moment. We're here in Florida. It's balmy 88 degrees, but it feels like 120. And he's over in the shade over in Las Vegas, and it's much cooler, relatively speaking, over there, I think. But we're going to keep him on the radio for just a short period of time. This will be a quicker radio show than normal, but we wanted to keep you guys up to date on what's happening with TJ. So we've got a couple of great websites. urlaw.org is one of them. But you can also go to tjmars.com, and TJ is easy, TJ, and then Mars has double R's, MARRS.com, for some new and updated information. Plus, he's been all over the place. So as we put him on the Building Fortunes Radio Network, you'll find him on Amazon and Spotify and all the other big ones and lots of other small ones. So if it looks like TJ Mars is all over the place, it's because he is, and he's working on some really cool projects. We're going to keep up to date. So, TJ, thanks for being here on your own radio show.
Hey, thanks for having me again, Peter. Thank you.
And we want to make sure you don't melt under that shade.
No,
or wherever
it won't melt. My Hershey bar is fine. It's in the shade.
All right. So why don't you bring us, first of all, thanks for being here. We're starting the second half of the year. We're in the beginning part of July for those people that are wondering. So why don't you bring us up to date on what you've been working on?
Oh gosh, where do I start with that? I mean, I'm many people that may be listening, I would call a serial entrepreneur with a lot of things going on, good things, a lot of things developing. I mean, one reason I'm here in Vegas is we have a hedge fund that we started here in Las Vegas called the Micro Venture Capital Fund, and it's dedicated to helping get financing to several small business enterprises that have been selected for us to help raise funds for. But one of the enterprises we raised funds for was really almost our own project that we wanted to acquire, which is called the Sterling Club, STIRLING, thesterlingclub.com, if you want to look up that website. And you'll see the property that we're actually dealing with. And it's a 75,000 square foot beautiful resort community, ballrooms and bars and fair lounge sports bars, steakhouse, and a huge pool, and sits right next to the Fontainebleau in Las Vegas, and it's surrounded by 4 50-story towers of condos that are surrounded, and those are all individual residences that people. And so we acquired a piece of that in order to get in, and sorry, I think he's walking. We just decided to acquire that property, and we're actually using it as a platform to raise funds as well for both investors as well as I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry to get interrupted. People come up and sat on my stuff. We raise money for investors, but also a big part of what we're doing is we want to raise money for nonprofits. We want to be the biggest nonprofit money raising entity in Las Vegas as one of our goals. And the reason is we, the place is jam-packed full of millionaires and billionaires all day long. I'm not kidding. This is just where they live. It's where they compete, where they get together, they do things. But also, these are people wonder, where does all the money come for all these nonprofits, and where does the money come from that creates jobs? Well, it's these people that create those jobs and create those opportunities to raise money for nonprofit causes, particularly in Vegas, where there's a lot of homeless people. There's a lot of people that are, just out of prison and things like that. So we're trying to associate with organizations that help serve those kind of people. And we think that what we're going to do is really, it's just a matter of fact that part of what we're doing there is it will also serve the community like that. So it's not just buying a fancy resort property. It actually has a intended community purpose. So
wow.
That's what the Stern Club is about.
Excellent. So I know that you've been working on this for a while. Matter of fact, we've done previous radio shows on this with Gary. And for those people that want to go listen to it, they can certainly look for the Micro Capital Venture Fund.
Micro Venture Capital Fund.
Micro Ventures Capital Fund, yep. So you guys can go look for that stuff. And also I'll make sure that's in the show notes of this radio show. But you've been super busy doing other things as well, like kind of analyzing what's going on in the crypto world, in the financial world as well. So do you want to kind of bring us up to speed on some of the events there?
Well, there's been two major developments in the last week. Well, one is just a piece of interesting news, which is people, question whether blockchain and crypto and tokenization and those subjects, is it all real? Is it all just a bunch of phony stuff? Well, let me tell people, what is money? People don't know what money is. They think it's those Federal Reserve notes, which are debt paper in your pocket. That's not money. That's debt. But they're a tool. They're a tool to exchange value for something that we all agree upon. Well, in the tokenization crypto world, that's all really crypto is. It's just another place for us to have a common currency which we can exchange for value for some sort of product or service. That's all money is. It doesn't have to be a Federal Reserve note to be money. Well, but to understand that it's really legit and a big deal, you might have learned in the news, you can go look this up, that Donald Trump, for example, last year, his earnings, just his income, this is not his assets, which are much, much more, but his income was over, I think it was $2.2 or $2.3 billion of income. That's pretty substantial for a guy that's also got a full-time job, right? As the president, he makes 400-some thousand a year. So what's important about that is that half of his income came from his crypto investing. The same investing you and I can do if we understand what we're doing. Of course, obviously he has some advantages. But my point is only that it's legit. It's real. I mean, even the President of the United States is in the crypto game. And that's why he's supporting tokenization projects and crypto projects and encouraging us to get away from the old school central bankers controlling everything in our life. Crypto allows us the freedom to choose how we exchange money. And, of course, it scares the hell out of the banks. And but that's okay. We're evolving into something different. It's just something unique. So I think it's important. Learn all you can about what's happening there, because whether you believe it or not doesn't matter. It's already happening with or without you. So what are you doing to just kind of educate yourself a little bit about it? Because you should. It's not the future. It is already here. So it's one of the things I try to encourage people to get involved in. And we have projects where we're getting involved in platforms that will do more, allow it easier to be in tokenization and in the crypto world, where it's more ubiquitous, where you don't have to have one coin or the other. Maybe your wallet would allow you to access your bank accounts and everything else in one central place on your phone. And that technology now exists, and it's one of the companies I'm also a part of. There's also meetings I'm having while I'm here as well. And that's going to make it easier for everybody to participate in all kinds of banking without ever even needing the bank. You can do all your money in one platform.
I know it's hot outside. I want to run a quickie commercial. We're going to come back because I want to talk about the money flow, if you will, or currency flow, or all that sort of stuff right after this quick commercial break. So you're on here. You're listening to TJ Mars. Go to tjmars.com. We'll be right back.
You've been listening to the TJ Mars Radio Show on Building Fortunes Radio and the Humongous Radio Network. You can learn more about TJ Mars by visiting his website at urlaw.org. That's YOUARE law.org. Or contact TJ Mars Radio Show through the TJ Mars Radio Show page on the buildingfortunesradio.com website. Explore how TJ can help you with your financial and legal challenges and make your world a better place. Now, back to our show. Take it away, Peter.
And we are back with Peter Mingils, that's me, and TJ Mars, that's him. We are right now doing kind of like a live radio show, and I want to tie in today with some of your comments on the following. So today is July 3rd of 2026, a day before that big day, for the 250th anniversary of, the United States thing. And not to discount that at all, but July 4th is on a Saturday, and you would figure that'd be a holiday. But a banking holiday is July 3rd. So, TJ, if I wanted to send you $1,000, say, for instance, hey, TJ, you got some things going on, and I wanted to somehow do it through the banking system, when would that show up in the traditional banking? Today's Friday. It's July 3rd,
won't show up till
a national holiday.
Yeah.
When will it show up?
Well, if you can get it ordered online, most people nowadays can wire transfer money. You can do it online through a traditional wire, and that wouldn't happen probably till Monday because you have to have real people go in there and verify and authenticate and do things like that. Whereas if you're using some of the electronic means like Zelle and some of these other direct platforms, you can do it instantaneously. And if it's crypto, it's instantaneously because it's really not having to go pass through the banking system. That's the slow, old way. People say, yeah, but I feel better because it's bank. I said, yeah, feel better about what? I mean, they are slower than anybody in terms of moving money today. And now it's going to get faster and easier with this new technology we're bringing, so that we're not a slave to the system.
Right. You mentioned things like Zelle, and a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of banks don't use Zelle. For instance,
That's
I have
right.
Old Glory Bank. If anybody's familiar with John Rich, the singer, and he built something for businesses so they couldn't get shut down easily by censorship. So if you were selling a gun or selling ammunition or selling something else that was somewhat controversial, you can actually have a bank account and be able to do that if you're doing some of it legitimately, of course. And here's the problem with Old Glory Bank. I think it's a wonderful system, but they don't have Zelle. So guess what?
Yeah.
If you were somebody who believed in Old Glory Bank, and I said to you, so say for instance, I said to you, I want to send you money, but you had Old Glory Bank, you wouldn't be able to get Zelle. And so now, you'd have to wait until, for me, I'll do it by wire. And like you said, it would probably be Monday, maybe even Tuesday. And I'd be treated like a criminal every step of the way. Every step of the way.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, and somebody else is involved in your business. They're checking and balancing. Yeah, and listen, okay, security is a good thing to have. I have no doubt when people send money and Chase calls and says, hey, we just want to verify it's you and it's your money. Yeah, I'm okay with that in the sense that there's a lot of fraud. There's a lot of deception. People get talked into doing stupid things and sending money. I'm okay with that, but I also know that I don't necessarily need that. I know what I'm trying to do. I know who I'm sending it to. I don't need somebody checking my business. Well, if it was all in crypto, I could have done that in literally seconds, and in a few more seconds, the other end would have it, and it's done. So it's so much more efficient ways to transfer money. And we're in a world where electronic money is really the standard. It's not the paper stuff. Most people, you just even try to go buy a coffee. They don't even want to take your cash. They want electronic something off your phone or a card or whatever. And that's becoming more and more and more common. So crypto is just another way to be able to exchange. And more companies are accepting cryptocurrencies. What I'm saying with our new platform is that once you set up on that platform, when it comes out, it's not quite there yet, you'll be able to connect all of it into one place. And any place you want to move money around between other people, they'll be borderless. And I mean internationally borderless, which is really a big deal now if you want to send money out of the country. This system, if they got the app on their phone, they're registered, they'll be able to move money around more easily.
Yeah. So for those people listening in, as you know, I've studied a lot of this, probably not as much as you do. Well, obviously, definitely not as much as you do. But the reality is the big banks are using the blockchain to be able to speed up those transactions. and it's going to help. And the big boys are doing it, so it's not like they're not doing it. So anybody that thinks it's all about Dogecoin and meme coins and little doggy things or related it to NFTs, which are basically like a big challenge. The reality is that in the real banking world, blockchain is being used for the infrastructure of all of the major banks. I mean, all of them that I've read about.
Yeah, they're all rolling over to it. As a matter of fact, the International Monetary Fund announced formally yesterday that's becoming the new standard. Would like it or not, blockchain's part of your life.
Right. So all of this stuff is helping to enhance the money movement. And, you know, when it comes to security, there's a little expression I learned one time. If security is working, it's pissing you off. So that's how you know it's it's working.
That is so true.
But you know, so I get it. You know, so we'll have to tolerate that, because if I wanted to send money to TJ, and the systems don't know that I know TJ and we work together and we do this stuff all the time and blah 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 blah. So I don't mind a little bit of security there. But I also want, once I'm past the security, I want it to happen right away. And I don't want it to take 3 days on July 3rd, so you get the stuff on July 6th. It's crazy. So having said that,
let me tell you what, we're doing contracts, and those contracts are being signed, but the only thing that delays closing the deal is just the movement of the money. And if we didn't have this barrier, we could close the entire transaction today. And in the business world, sometimes a day makes all the difference.
It does.
So, you know, so that's a perfect example. I mean, literally the meeting I go to next is those kind of meetings where, we're signing everything, but, you know, we can't close till Monday, and you know, you hope the money comes through and the deal's not done till it is cleared. And it's just a lot of extra steps when it comes to the business world. This stuff really matters.
Yep. And like I said, some of my frustration is, because I've done some stuff overseas, is that you're treated like a criminal. Like you are legitimately treated like a criminal every step along the way. So even I had a situation with Walmart where a customer of mine was in Walmart, gave them, it was $3,000, and gave it on a Green Dot money card, or the money transfer at that time, and I went to go pick it up. So he had his ID and his cash. I had my ID, and they said, "We're not going to do it." And I said, "Why? Why?" And you know what they said? Because in Florida there's a lot of fraud, and we're going to deny this transaction. So my friend had
it has nothing to do with you, but
nothing to do with me, nothing to do with him. My friend had to drive back to Walmart, he was in a rural area, so it was 45 minutes away. He had to go drive back to pick up his own money, cash money in Walmart. And you just say, how much resistance can you have for money flow? But if it was crypto, it'd be done in seconds. He wouldn't have had to move past his phone. So this is real. And we're talking about like $3,000 is a lot of money, but it's really not. When it comes to a business transaction, it's peanuts.
No.
You guys, some of the stuff you're dealing with is in the hundreds of thousands and millions. And the idea that you could move hundreds and thousands and millions within seconds without huge fees, that's another thing, without huge fees,
that's a big part of it,
is changing the world. Because the fee for everybody to have their hands into it and the illusion of security could cost you a few percentage points. And a few percentage points on a couple $1 million is a lot of money. So it's very
that's the other thing about this. Once this new infrastructure is in place, and if you're part of it, it's like you're all now in the same room. You can pass money back and forth easily without barriers. Well, and therefore there's very little or no fees on our system to move money around. So that's a whole other benefit we haven't gotten into yet, but it's very real.
Yes, super exciting. So I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go before that Hershey's bar that you thought wasn't.
That's
completely melted.
Man.
And look at
ice cream and everything's melted here.
It's over. It's over. People listening in, and I'm going to say thanks to TJ Mars taking time out of a busy holiday weekend in between meetings to do a radio show with us. We'll have this posted on Building Fortunes Radio, but it's also going to be available all over the place: Amazon, Spotify, iHeartRadio. You know, all the big ones, a lot of the small ones, as well as our other radio show stations. So TJ, thanks for being here. Happy 4th of July, and we'll see everybody next time. catch everybody next time. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. You're
Happy
welcome.
Fourth.
Wow. You've been listening to the TJ Mars Radio Show on Building Fortunes Radio and the Humongous Radio Network. If you want to listen to this again or tune into the other radio shows, you'll be able to hear TJ Mars Radio Show on the Humongous AM and Humongous FM Radio Network and on all major platforms, such as Amazon's Music, Podcasts, and Audible, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and on many of your favorite podcasts. Our distinguished TJ Mars Radio Show host Peter and I are glad you listened in. You can learn more about TJ Mars by visiting his website at urlaw.org. That's YOUARE law.org. Or contact TJ Mars through the TJ Mars Radio Show page on the buildingfortunesradio.com website. Let's explore how he can help you with your financial and legal challenges. Share this show with the people that are important to you. Thanks again for listening in, and now, go make the world a better place.
Recorded.